Hello everyone, I hope you're well. I don't know about you, but it does seem like normality is slowly resuming. Both Dan and I are now regularly in the office again, and with most shops open and pubs and restaurants opening this weekend, we're feeling positive that we may be able to meet with you face to face once again in the not too distant future. After 10 weeks, this will be my last weekly lockdown video. I hope you found them informative and useful, and that they've given you some reassurance during these very worrying and uncertain times. I'll still be recording and sharing videos with you in the future, but more on an ad hoc basis moving forwards. So if there are any topics you'd like me to cover, please do just let me know. Today, I'd like to talk to you about the importance of regularly reviewing your pensions and more generally your retirement plans. As a financial planner, it seems evident to me that there may be a perfect storm brewing for coming generations of retirees. The end of final salary pension schemes in the private sector, underfunding of many defined contribution pensions, increasing life expectancy, and more generally people's lack of understanding of how pension planning works could potentially lead to a significant funding gap. A report from the World Economic Forum, which was highlighted on the MoneyWise website in June last year, warned that the retirement savings gap is on the rise across the world. And as I mentioned in my recent video, this same report found that male British pensioners were expected to run out of money 10.3 years before they die, whilst female pensioners can expect to outlive their pension pots by 12.6 years. Previous generations arguably had a simpler path to follow. Back in the old days, people would be more likely to work for the same employer all of their working lives, retire at 60 or 65 with a healthy final salary pension, which when combined with their state pension, would then provide them with a guaranteed income for the rest of their lives. Retirement planning was arguably more straightforward then compared to now, when a man aged 65 can expect to live for another 18.6 years, a fifth of his lifespan, while a 65-year-old woman can look forward to another 21 years, according to the ONS, the Office for National Statistics. With today's youngsters likely to live to 100, we really do need to change the way we think about retirement and our financial approach to saving for that stage of our lives. So, what can you or the younger generations of your family do to take some positive action? I think the first step for those of you who already have pensions in place is to review and understand what you have and whether those plans are appropriate for your needs. Please do speak to me if you want to review any existing provision you have. You can really only establish whether the pensions you already own will have the potential to meet your future needs effectively if you also understand how much retirement income you're going to want or need once you do stop working. Retirement was once described to me as the start of the longest holiday of your life. It therefore follows that whilst your fixed costs may reduce, you're likely to want more disposable income at this stage of your life. So one question to ask yourself is whether your income need will really go down by very much. One of the key roles of a financial planner like myself is to work with clients to establish this information. We call it your magic number. If you watch my previous video about our cash flow modelling tool, you'll remember that we use this software to forecast into the future as to what this magic number will potentially be when you retire, factoring in inflation and if there is any compound growth on money invested over the longer term. If once we review existing plans, it transpires they're unlikely to meet your needs, we can then put a plan in place to help address this. It's therefore always better to review plans regularly and don't delay, as the longer you delay, the harder it can be to catch up later. For anyone who has yet to do any meaningful retirement planning, know that it's never too early to start, so please don't delay any further. As I said in my recent video about financial education, compound growth is one of the most powerful forces in the world. Therefore, the sooner you start, the more effective the planning will potentially be. Abraham Lincoln once said, the best way to predict the future is to create it. So in short, think about what you and your loved ones aspire to be doing in retirement and ask yourselves if each of you have a plan to get there. Auto-enrolment brought in legislation a few years ago to ensure that both employers and employees began to contribute towards pensions. However, in my experience, it's rare that the statutory levels of contributions will meet most clients' financial needs in retirement. It's therefore important not to lull yourself into a false sense of security that just because you have a pension in place, your retirement income needs will automatically be met. It's also very hard to plan your retirement without a full view of your state pension. It's therefore a good idea to check how much state pension you could get and when you'll become entitled to it. You can do this online at www.gov.uk/check state pension. As I mentioned at the start of the video, already many newborns can expect to live to 100 and beyond. This will have an enormous impact on younger generations, many of whom are already recognising that they don't know enough or have adequate resources to plan for a longer life. So I would encourage parents and grandparents to start investing into a pension for the younger members of their families. Pension contributions for the next generation is often an effective way of utilising tax relief and potentially generate a healthy return for your children and grandchildren. You can currently contribute up to £2,880 each year into a pension for a child, which will then be automatically increased to £3,600 simply through tax relief. If you can afford to do this for a child, this will give them a head start to their own pension planning, as they will be able to continue to pay into that plan if they want to, especially once they're working themselves. It also teaches them a really valuable life lesson about always saving with the future in mind. To conclude, there's no doubt that retirement planning, and in particular pensions, are a complex area of financial planning and often misunderstood. The temptation is therefore to ignore the issue and hope for the best. My advice though would be to take advice and address your retirement planning head on as soon as you possibly can. Consider the fact that most people's retirements could now last for nearly as long as their working lives, so don't delay. Talk to me about reviewing your existing plans, think carefully about what your magic number will be, and together we can make sure that you're doing everything you can to be on course to achieve your retirement goals. I hope you found the content of this video of interest. As ever, please do let me know if you have any questions or if you need advice on any of the points raised. Equally, if you have any family, friends or colleagues who need any financial advice, I'm more than happy to chat to them to see if I can help. And if I can't answer their questions, I'm in regular contact with legal, accountancy and business professionals I know who I can put them in touch with instead. Once again, thank you for listening and bye for now.